Alright guys, welcome to an episode of PB Garage. In this episode we're going to look at unsticking this sport mode button on your 957 Cayenne. This is right where your cup holders are, so obviously if you have coffee, lattes, pumpkin spice, whatever it is, that's going to get in there, and this turns into a rock hard button. Guys like to drive in a pile of lubrication like WD-40 or some other stuff in there, and I'll show you why that's a bad idea, and you're going to want to disassemble everything to clean that button properly. So to start, you're going to want to just take out these, they're just two M3 bolts, fairly easy, and the whole trim comes right off. Now if you don't have an M3 tool, Porsche actually gives you one. This is actually specifically used for these two bolts to unstick your gear lever. Apparently that's a thing. It's actually in the service manual that this thing will get stuck and there's a way to unstick it, which for some reason I guess that's the thing. Anyways, once those two are out, you can go ahead and just pry up on the back here. Now the trim's already messed up a little bit for mine, so you want to be careful with yours. And there's kind of two layers to this. This is the first layer, your trim layer, and then there's another layer underneath that you want to grab. And there's a couple pressure tabs around the perimeter. You can hear those coming up. And there's one electrical connector. Before you go too far, you want to disconnect. So there you go. Once you have that disconnected, you want to be careful taking this out. You don't want to scratch anything. And this actually has some pins on the end that slide in and move forward, and then you just have your two or four pressure pins there. This is a connector, and it's fairly simple. You just press down on the one tab here, and that will release it. So now we'll go get this cleaned up. Now that you have it on the bench, you're going to want your T20, and you're going to undo these four bolts. So now you can focus in on your switch. So we'll get rid of the electrical circuit board that's underneath it. This is a T10. So that comes off pretty easy. There's two tabs here that slot in, and you can see the pins actually come through that housing. So you want to be careful taking this plastic. It comes off really easy, but you want to be a little bit cognizant that you don't want to bend any of those pins. So you can go ahead, this just falls right out. I'm going to put that back in there to kind of protect it. So now what you're going to want to do is you can clean it at this point. You can just dunk it in hot water and clean it in that way, and just wish it around, and that actually freed up my button quite a bit. But I'm going to take it to the next level and completely dismantle it as best I can. And you can get rid of this little sidebar action by popping up these tabs. That comes off nicely. You can go clean that piece. And there's a couple, your little lights will come out as well. All the lights are pretty specific to their location, but they're going to slide out if they want. So you can go ahead and clean those as best you want. And then we're going to look at this. Now this thing kind of popped out on me. These little rocker switches, and you don't have to take these out. I'm going to take them out anyways. And you have this little spring that connects the two of those together. So I've tried to take this rocker switch out, and I couldn't. It's really jammed in there. Those tabs, I broke one of the tabs off trying to get it off. So anyways, all I did was clean it up really as best I can on the tracks. You could use a little toothpick to get in there and ream the edges if you want. So what we want to do is get the sport button off, and this is definitely possible. It's a little challenging in the sense that you have this one tab here that you can get your, without damaging it, any of the coating, you can get in there. So that should pop it free. I like to jam that in there. So it's the same thing on the other side. It's just that it's a blind hole. Now it takes a little bit of force, but it's doable. You should hear it click. Now, if it's not clicking, it's probably because it's still so gummed up with mocha lattes and pumpkin spiced whatever. But once it goes, it should go. You could push on this little light here. Yeah, that's it. and then it should just fall right out. And you got the 2 springs in the bottom of it, and that's where you're going to want to go ahead and clean the sides of this all the way around. You're going to want to clean inside all here, detail all those little cavities, and then just put it back together. So you're going to want to double check the operation of this, and you can see that the rocker switches have that little angle going above this ridge that's on the housing. You want to make sure that stays there, and if you pull it too far, you watch the white one go, it clicks after it, and you won't be able to get that back in. So you want to make sure you're not, it's just going to jam. Anyways, you want to pop this back over. You want to make sure this stays on top. You want to make sure they stay on top like that. And if you want to test it, just don't rock it all the way. All you need to do is make sure it's moving freely, and you'll be good. So we'll do another test once we have everything back on. You can grab your circuit board at this point in time, and what I like to do is hold them together and align these slots and then let it fall in. And that way all those pins are not subjected to any kind of damage, and just reassemble it. So at this point, this is where you can, before even putting those in, just hold the bottom in. You can check your rocker switch, and you could hear it clicking. And then check your sport switch. That sounds good. Nothing binds, everything works freely, and just reassemble it all. Hope you enjoyed fixing your sport button. Go and go enjoy some sport mode in your 957. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video and helped some of you guys out there. Thanks.